Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier in the Air. That's right, Javier in the air, not on the air, which doesn't make any sense, but I love it. So this is what we're going to go with. All right, so I have a good show for you today. We're going to do some trash in the hood, as always. We're going to do some baking. We're going to have our Zen moment, and we're going to have a spirit time out at the boutique, but it's just going to be photos. So I'm going to see if maybe I can make that into a video, but probably not. So anyway, we got a fun-packed show for you today. So let's go ahead and get going with our Trash in the Hood. Dark Frog Social Media presents Trash in the Hood, weeks 164 and 165. Okay, so here we are. This is fantastic. A nice lady stopped and gave me a $2 bill. I love $2 bills, so I thought I'd show you actually getting something on the road. So this is the route for week 164, day 3. A little bit of a not so, well, it's about average nowadays, but it was really good. Wandered all over the place, tucked into some little cul-de-sacs, and then just picked up their trash and kept moving. So you see here, there's the usual stuff. Well, there's a plastic baseball and a lady's slipper. And no, ladies and gentlemen and everybody else, I did not drink champagne out of that slipper. Since it was on the street, I barely touched it. I used the grabber. Lots of trash and soda cans and knobs, and it's really interesting, the route that I took, that I pick up some of the more unusual stuff. So, and about 30 cigarettes. So this was day 6 of week 164. I didn't pick up any trash, but I wanted to show the route. This one we went really all over the place, up and down 183A. And on the way, we met some new friends. Yes, there's some pumpkins, and there's a nice gentleman who seems to be crawling out of the ground. And yes, Halloween decorating season is in full session, everybody. And so now we go to week 165. This is day 1. We had a pretty long route today. Well, it's about average, but it's very interesting where we went. This was a new route for us. We kind of wandered around, went up to Anderson Mill and back, and then came down 620 and went up. And you see there the construction site that's going on right behind the CVS and the I think Wells Fargo Bank on 620. So this unusual one gave us some really crazy ones, and unfortunately we found something we didn't like. For example, there in the circle, we actually found a syringe. I don't think it's used for illegal purposes, simply because of the size of it, but still was not happy to find that. It's the first time I found one while doing this and all of the 165 weeks that I've been doing it, plus a lot of the other garbage. And we had a whopping 180 cigarette butts. That's right, 180 cigarettes. So this was day 7, which was actually today, Sunday. Went out to downtown Cedar Park off of Main Street, and went and didn't have much time today since I'm doing the show, and got in about 2 miles. And as you see there, it's really junky. I'm really sad that right around Main Street in Cedar Park, it's really bad. You see plastic bags and a lot of beer cans, crushed and otherwise, a mini liquor bottle you see there on the right, tequila one, vape pens, some boxes of, let's call it the devil's lettuce, and if you know what that is, you know what I mean. 36 cigarette butts, and just a unbelievable amount of trash for that area, which again, though I don't travel on very much, makes me sad when I go out there and pick up. Yep, still trying out the different camera and the different camera angles. So, to be fair, I'm going to, soon, we will be having the annual October pumpkin beer tasting with Brother Rob, and anybody else who may be interested, just let me know. Reach out to me how you know how to reach out to me, and I can get you on the show. And now that I have 2 cameras, I'll be able to set up some interesting angles on here. So it looks like my visual froze, but I know I'm still recording. So we are going to now go into our Zen moment. Won't be as awesome as the one last week from all the walking routes, which, by the way, I got some good feedback and thank you for that. Started another one this week, 139.5 miles, the Coffee Triangle. So we'll talk more about that as we get through various episodes. So now we're going to hit the Zen Moment. Okay, so there you have it, our pumpkin themed Zen moment for everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Both the images were AI generated. So, real quick, that's been mentioned a lot by me and a lot by a lot of people around the world. And so basically, AI is just another, in my opinion, it's just another computer program that tries to learn what you like or what you do or what you're trying to get it to do, and then it tries to do its best and help out. So if you are someone who understands AI really well and knows how to describe things really well in a way that it will get, then you can get a lot of almost really good stuff. And I say almost because it's still got a long way to go. It doesn't necessarily learn what you really want. So if you can't explain things in a certain way, it's just going to go all sorts of higgledy-piggledy on you. And yes, I used higgledy-piggledy. And it's just not going to be that great. It can be used really good for some things, other things, absolutely not. And right now we're finding that a lot of stuff you can tell when it's AI generated because it likes to go against the laws of physics. It likes to add fingers where there's not fingers and toes where there's not toes and certain expressions where there's not. And then you can tell the gaps because of what it's trying to do. So, for example, those pictures that I put in there, I like them, but it's not what I asked for. I asked for pumpkins being sold at a carnival and parents and kids walking amongst the pumpkins, and only the pumpkins could be sold. And are being sold, and the pumpkins color range from white to yellow to orange. But as you see, there's some blue in there, and there's some other colors. And yeah, I chose the origami. That's on me. So all the pumpkins are done by pseudo origami to make those pumpkins, but it didn't really do like 80% more of what I wanted. It got about 20% in. So just be careful when you're using AI if you're using it for your job. If you're using it for fun like I am, just do what you want and you get the results that you're going to get. And that's what I did. So now without further ado, I am going to take us to our baking. It's not necessarily a section, but I did some baking this weekend and I wanted to get it out there so I can show you guys my baking chops. I decided to try to make something I still have from the last time. I don't know, those of you who are watching the show on a regular basis, which by the way, thank you. There is an episode where I had purchased some Pullman loaf pans, which are absolutely square, and these are the smaller ones, so they're about 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 with a lid. So you make your do your recipe, you make your bread, you put them in there, and you put the lid on top. So what the lid does is the lid is metal also, is that you get a nice even bake over everything, including the top. And if you bake it right, which I have only done once, but if you bake it right, it comes out in a perfect square, like a perfect loaf of bread. I am not getting there, so we'll just have to deal with what I have. So this week I decided to make some super, I'm calling it super, double chocolate bread. And I used the Pullman loaf, and I actually had extra. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, everybody. So yesterday was bread day, so I wanted to try something a little bit different. So I'm winding up having to call this super duper chocolate, double chocolate bread, and this is using the the Tang Zong method. That Zhang Tong method, which and it has all the ingredients that you see here, plus a couple more. I didn't put in the wet ingredients, but basically you start with a saucepan. You add the cocoa, and you add some milk and a little bit of water and a little bit of flour. So what you're going to do here is you're going to take this over medium-high heat, and you're going to take that and you're going to be whisking constantly. And let me tell you, it sneaks up on you if you're not watching. So the combination of the powder, the cocoa powder, and the flour start thickening this up. So what you want to do is you want to keep whisking until it becomes like a paste, which it will. So you're going to know when it's ready. So you take that off the fire, and you transfer that to another bowl, and then from that bowl you want to put some cling wrap over it, so that the cling wrap is touching the surface of the concoction, because you don't want a skin to form on it. You want it to be just all goodness and no skin on there, because it's just going to make it more difficult when you use it in the next step. So I was able to do that. Unfortunately, what I forgot was to transfer it to another bowl. So what happened was it actually was still warm, and in fact in some parts of it was actually almost hot when I added it to the rest of the ingredients. So that was shame on me for that. But you mix it all, and if you want, just message me and I can give you the recipe. So you you do the bread part first. Get the bread going, but you don't need it yet, and then you add the Tangzong in there, and you start kneading it. You're kneading it from 5 to 7 minutes. If you have a mixer, good on you, because I do not. So I am hand kneading this bad boy up until you knead it for about 5 to 7 minutes. You add the Tangzong, and you add the melted butter. Actually, you add the Tangzong in the beginning, and then you add the melted butter at the next part, and then you add the chocolate chips. So you get that into a ball and let that sit for 90 minutes. That's right, 90 minutes. This is not a short, quick thing. Bread never is. So once you get it out, now it has almost tripled in size. I got it out. I formed this into a rectangle, and I tried to make it all the one height, but I couldn't do it. So then I figured I had too much bread, right? I have too much bread for the little Pullman loaves that I have. So I cut it in half, and then the half I cut in half again. And you form this into a rectangle, where then you spread it out a little bit with your rolling pin, and then you roll it up into a log. Now let me tell you something. Roll it into a log. What I made the mistake of, again, because I am a new bread baker, so to speak, I made it too long. So when I rolled it into a log, it was a really stupid long log, and it doesn't fit into my Pullman loaf. So then I have to do something like this, which almost makes it look like a bagel. And no, it's not a bagel. But I can't, after you get it too long, you can't get it back into a really short thing. Even if you try folding it, I couldn't get it. So I have two of these into the Pullman pans, which you'll see here in a minute. And then I had enough left over, which I thought is because I was expecting them to grow into the Pullman loaf pans and it'd be a perfect square, and I didn't want to put too much in there. So here's one in there. Now, for those of you who are familiar with baking, probably we're like stupid Javier, there's a lot more room you could have put it in there. In fact, you should probably put it till about a half inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch from the top, and then that's going to grow into the top of the pan. But I did not do that on both of those, and I had enough left over to actually put into a regular loaf glass pan that I had. And there you see all three of them, and as you see, it looks pitiful in the Pullman loaf pan. So I could have used all of that from the glass pan into the Pullman loaves, but I was an idiot. So learn your lesson for next time, Javier. Don't roll as far out as you feel like you can, which I did. And also, you need to make sure that it's only about a half inch to 3/4 of an inch from the top, because it's going to grow into the top of the pan, which is what you want. Okay, so then here it is. I didn't take any further photos other than after I had pulled it out of the oven and sliced it. And it went about 40 minutes at a 350-degree oven. Depends on your oven, depends on your elevation, of course. And so I cut it up. Now, I didn't use super or full sweet chocolate chips. I used almost a very tart, very high in cocoa and low in sugar chocolate chips, but it turned out amazing. So if you like it like I do, I just add a little butter to this in the morning and I eat it all up. I have been told that you can add Nutella or peanut butter on it and just slab that onto a slice of this, and you're in heaven. So it's a perfect breakfast bread. And overall, I'll probably give myself a C minus on it, and I just have to keep improving. Okay, so there you have it, the super duper double chocolate bread using the Tang Zong method. I hope I'm getting that right. I keep getting the T and the Z um, replacing each other. So I hope I said that right. Tang Zong. So basically, what you're doing is you're just taking the cocoa part of it, warming it up, heating it up basically, and then you add that to your kneading process. So it adds back more liquid, it adds back all that you need. So my mistake again was I had already started kneading quite a bit before I realized I hadn't added the Tangzong. So I had to add that in, and like I said, it was still a little bit too hot. You're supposed to do it really when it's cool, like room temperature cool. So because I didn't transfer it to a bowl, or I didn't transfer it to a bowl in time, and I started baking, I should have really just stopped and waited till it was cool and then started the baking process. But I was a little bit excited, and I thought surely it'll be cool by the time I get to the part I need, and it was not. So there was mistake number one. Mistake number two is you needed to use an egg. It wants you to do like an egg wash. You can add an egg as part of the kneading process, and that will help with the overall kneading process. And then they wanted you to do an egg wash like on top. I didn't do the egg wash on top, so we didn't get that goodness on there. Also, it does use yeast. So for those of you who may be yeast adverse, this is not for you. I did do that correctly. So all the sugar and some of the milk went into a bowl. Warm milk, by the way. Cold milk's not going to help you out. You want warm milk because you want to activate that yeast. So you want to get that yeast going so that it has like a frothy top or head to the bowl that you're mixing it in. So you want to give that about, it says 5 minutes, but I've always found for myself that it needs to go a little bit longer. So I went about 7 minutes to get it nice and frothy, and then I poured that into the flour and a little bit of salt and the think it was just pretty much flour and salt at that point. Then you start mixing that up, and then and the rest of the milk, and then you pour in the tang zong, and then you start kneading that. And like I said, if you have a mixing bowl, good for you. Use it. It saves on your forearms, and it saves on overall just. It's a good exercise maybe. So you go 5 to 7 minutes. I use a timer because I know that if I get tired before that, I'll stop. But if I have a timer, I will go to the timer, regardless of how I feel. So I went to the timer, and then you let that. Then you add in the melted butter, and then you knead again for like another 5 minutes. So after that, then you let it rest, like I put in the video, for about 90 minutes. And then after I put those in the pan, it says you need to have a second proof. So you do another proof for about 60 minutes. So this is not for the faint of heart. Making bread is not for the faint of heart. You can do some quick breads, and I've done it before, and you've seen it on the show, the quick orange bread that I made, which turned out fantastic, by the way. But if you really want to start getting into bread making, you're going to have to spend some time. It's not something you can do on a Friday night unless you want to stay up all night. In fact, this one again with the prep of the tang zong, and then the kneading, and then the proof, and then the shape and put in pans, and then the second proof, and then the baking. All in all, it probably was about I'd say close to 4 hours, 4.5 hours. So if you don't have 4.5 hours in your day to make some bread like this, don't do it. You can't cut corners. Trying to go quicker never works out. If you cut on your proof, it's going to wind up too dense. If you overproof, it winds up too meh. I don't know the right word for it. I'm going to say meh. And then it just doesn't bake right. So you don't want to overproof, you don't want to underproof, and so you want to go exactly how long the recipe calls for. Unless you've done it before, then you know if you can tweak it here or there. Anyway, so there's our super duper double chocolate bread. I'll be bringing some other things for you throughout the upcoming holiday season. I do have some time off from my day job, so I might be doing some baking for us, and maybe I can get both cameras going next time and actually have like a baking show. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and go to our spirit time. So for this, Brother Rob and I were out at the boutique, yes, as we are wont to do, and we tried some more beers, and so I thought I'd go ahead and get them on the show as our spirit time, because it was time to show some beer. And if you have a drink that you would like me to try on the show, to try to make on the show and then try on the show, please send me a message, however you know how to get a hold of me, and I will see what I can. I'll check my liquor cabinet and try to make the cocktail or cocktails that you are suggesting. Also, if you'd like to come visit and may have a cocktail with me according to your recipe, we can do that now as well. I have my studio is growing, more cameras, so I'm able to have us both on there, and we can go from there. So anyway, let's see our spirit time. All right, the beers of the boutique. So Brother Rob and I, this is one of our favorite beers of all times as far as pumpkin beers go. This is called Full Grown Jack, and it's by Tubbs, and it's just a fantastic beer. Now, as the argument that we always have is that, is it pumpkin or is it pumpkin spice? This is probably a little bit of both, but it's a high ABV, and it's fantastic, and it's something you want to stick with. We both gave it 7.5 thumbs up. So this is Pumpkin Ale by Great Divide. Fantastic cover, by the way. Fantastic artwork. It looks good. It's an ale. It wasn't bad, but it didn't taste like pumpkin anything. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to give that 2 thumbs up on there. Great Divide. There's some work that you need to get done on there. So the next one is Tubbs again. and this is their I think it's the Great Pumpkin. I can't remember the name of it. But this was pretty decent too. It wasn't as good as Full Grown Jack, but it has some punch to it, some high ABV. It's really good. You see it. You see the glass next to it. It's a really fantastic. We gave it about a 6 thumbs up on there for the afternoon. This is Atomic Pumpkin by New Belgium. Fortunately, fantastic cover art again. Beer can art. It's so good these days, and some of them are fantastic. This is a great one as well. Unfortunately, the beer was not that great. So again, it's one of those where it was trying to hit on pumpkin spice, and it was a hit and a miss. So we gave this 3 thumbs up. This is Clown Shoes limited release. Clown Shoes has some decent pumpkin beers, and we were proud enough to, or not proud enough. We were soused enough to keep going, and so we wound up with this Clown Shoes one. Really good. Again, something scary pumpkin or something like that. I can't remember the name of this one. I apologize for that. It was a long afternoon of day drinking. But we did give this, I believe we went with 6 and 5.5 thumbs up. So this last one is not really in the pumpkin variety, but look at that beer can art. It was fantastic. I remember that I grabbed it for that. This is barrel aged narwhal. So fantastic beer. It was really good. Unfortunately, we can't give it thumbs up or down or thumbs up at all because it wasn't part of the pumpkin beer tasting. But that was out there and it was fantastic. I can't believe I almost forgot. I almost forgot the newest and most talked about section that we have right now, and that is our Jav-A Beans. Jav-A Beans. So we're gonna go ahead. We're getting short in time here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go. Here's to Jav-A Beans.
Hey, so back out here at Malone Coffee Shop, or Coffee House, I don't know which one it is. Anyway, so this is Ludicrous Speed, which is 6 shots of espresso and a burst of Irish cream. That's how it's described, a burst of Irish cream. So let's see how I did. This also has no additional sugar or anything, just other than the everything. It's good. You can definitely taste the coffee, the robustness of it. I like it. And maybe a little touch of sugar to it, but other than that, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna give it 3.5 beans. So this is for Jav-A Beans at Malone. This is the Ludicrous Beans.
Hello. So here we have it. That's it for this week. If you know of any coffee shops that are near the Cedar Park, Austin area, please let me know. I'd love to try out new places as always and new flavors, and we can go out there and check it out. Same way for cocktails. If you like it, let me know. Also, if you are interested in the beer tasting, we're going to be doing that either next Sunday or next weekend or the following weekend. And it'd be great to have more than just my brother Rob and I getting drunk on air. So if you're interested in pumpkin beer and you'd like to taste it, and also review it with us, then please by all means give me a shout out and I can get you on the show. If you're interested in being on the show for other reasons, by all means let me know and I can get you on the show. So that's it for this week. I hope you're having a good week. We are about to start getting into the long litany of holidays that is October, November, December. It's already October 5th, and Halloween will soon be fast upon us. If you have stuff on your street near me and you'd like me to walk by while I'm picking up trash and take a picture of it to have it on my show, by all means let me know as well. All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Please let me know through being on my YouTube channel, Javier In The Air. or send me feedback how you know how to get a hold of me. I will bid you adieu again. That's twice in one show. And I will talk to you again in 2 weeks. Thanks a lot, everybody.